RedArmy.TV, Lewis Baker, man of the match against Sonny Scunny. Congratulations to him too. Welcome to the latest edition. Now then, Davey in the hot seat with you. We're also joined in the studio by two big Borough fans. On the wing, not Lewis, but on the wing is Tom Green. Tom, welcome back.
Cheers, nice to be back.
You've both been here actually, and we've got Sam Hussain as well, another big Borough fan.
Nice to be back.
And a huge social media man. He generates a lot of publicity for South Cleveland Heart Fund. We'll give him a plug straight away. Dr. Adrian, everybody, well done. Great, absolutely fantastic work that you're doing there with the Heart Fund. Right, let's get into football though. We'll review Scunny in butter jiff, fellas. Let's start with Notts Forest, or Nottingham Forest, as Brian Clough, good old Middlesbrough lad, insisted it was called. I did upset somebody on social media actually by putting Notts Forest for the coach trip a couple of weeks ago. It was a Nottingham Forest fan who had a go at me. Ha! Yabu sucks. Forest fellas, you were there, Tom.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
To be honest, it was a very slow start, and I noticed that last night about the Scunthorpe game as well. But it really, we suffered for it at Nottingham Forest. I think we were too slow coming out of the blocks. Obviously, like that, we didn't wake up until half time, till Traore came on, and I think that was mainly a tactical thing. I think once Traore came on, they couldn't bomb down the left wing as much and pin Christie in. But we started. We can't just play the second half, and we need to play the whole game if we're going to stand a chance of winning and smashing the league. How
concerned are you, Sam, that we are starting slowly?
Not as concerned as I would be if we weren't creating chances. In the highlights of that game, I saw us create abundance of chances. On another day, we could have had 7. So it's not really concerning as much as it. If we weren't creating, there's been seasons where we haven't created in the past, and we just cannot be seen to get a goal and win a game. But that's going to come easy this season. You've
got to feel sorry for Britt, haven't you? I mean, he was getting dog's abuse.
Yeah.
I was there. I was watching the game. I lost my voice. But he was getting absolute dogs from the Forest fans. And he had 5 great chances, which on any other day, he probably bagged a hat-trick.
He probably will next time.
Yeah, but it just didn't go for him, did it?
I think they were getting in his head far too much. I think even in the warm-ups, whenever he missed the target in practice, they were jeering him. And then I think too many times he wanted to do it all himself, just to kind of like rub it in. And I think there was one point where I think Justed flicked it on and the ball was bounced in front of him. I thought personally he could have brought it down, took a touch, placed it, but he went for the top corner. Just spectacular goal. I think they were far too in his head on Saturday, and I think he couldn't finish the chances because of it.
Can you understand Assombalonga really trying too hard to prove a point?
Yes, if I'd have been the manager, I think I'd have toyed with not playing him at all, just to take that sting out of their atmosphere.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to put one over on him, if he wasn't playing, they couldn't have done it. Would have been psychologically better for Borough, I think.
I think it would be nice though when it comes to the return game at the Riverside.
He gets a hat-trick.
He gets a hat-trick.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're on for that, Britt. You can do it, mate. Absolutely. But overall, it was one of those games we shouldn't have lost. We can't have too many, can we?
No, definitely not. Especially because we know how hard it is to get out of this league. But then you look at the table now, and you've got people like Cardiff and Ipswich and Wolves up the top of it at the moment, but then you look at the bottom half as well, and there's people like Reading, Fulham and Sheffield Wednesday who will probably be there at the end of the season as well. We've got so many teams in this league that could be in the top 6 at the end of the season. We can't afford to be dropping points in games we should be winning.
Well, the beauty about what we're doing on Red Army now is we're taking a coach to every single away game. We have the Borough quiz on board. We go early, we get there early, we sit in the pub, we have a couple of drinks, we have a nice meal, all that kind of stuff. There's a coach going to Bolton, by the way, so get in touch. And the beauty of that is we take our cameras on board. Mark did exactly that to Forest, and here were the fans' rants on board the Red Army coach.
It was a big letdown. I thought they would have played better, but didn't play as a team and didn't look like good in the midfield. Yeah.
It's what it is what it is. Work in progress.
I think we're absolutely terrible. We've got no width. We're too slow. We've got nothing. There's nothing at the back.
Certainly thinking that Braithwaite will make a difference when he comes on. There's a place for him there because we haven't got that link between the midfield and attack.
Why is George on the pitch when Fabio's on the bench?
Sorry.
Outside at the Riverside following Borough's 3-0 victory over Scunthorpe in the Carabao Cup. A pretty comfortable victory, can't really remember the visitors having too many efforts on the Borough goal. Gary Monk made 9 changes tonight, but still named quite a strong side on paper. A lot of players getting an opportunity to make a point. I thought Lewis Baker was probably the standout performer on the night. Got the second goal after Fabio had made it 1-0 and really looked like he could be that link man in between the midfield and Ashley Fletcher up front. The game opened up a little bit in the second half and Borough really looked threatening on the counter-attack with players like Baker, Fletcher, Tavernier looked very dangerous. Their pace on the break possibly could have been a few more, but 3-0 it stayed and Borough through to the next round.
OK, there are your views. Thanks for that, Joe, and thanks for the fans rant on the Red Army coach going to Forest. Fellas, let's move on because we've chatted Forest. Another game has happened between the last episode and this one on Red Army. That was Sunny Scunny. Tom, your thoughts on that? Is it the sort of game we can take anything from because it was such a changed team?
I think so, but I think it's because of the new system that Gary Monk's brought in, and I think it really does show that even on the fringes, the players are buying into it now. Personally, I thought when I went to the pre-season game, I was kind of like worried about the lack of width, and I was worried about how we got beat off. Was it Rochdale in pre-season? Not so much worried about that, but it was like Karanka's team wouldn't have lost in that type of friendly. So I was trying to figure out how it was all going to work. But I think we have been getting better and better with that system throughout the last few games, and I think it does show that even on the fringes of the team, the players do know what they're doing in this system now, and it is starting to work a lot more effectively.
Where's your head in this situation? Should we have continued to play the first team as it was to give them more chance to gel, or is it a good opportunity to play the youngsters? Play the players who haven't featured that much in the season so far? We
can say it's a good opportunity to bleed them in because we won the game. It was the result got us through it. It was a good way of introducing players who won't get a lot of experience league-wise because they need to win games in the league. They need to get through difficult games without carrying players who are not experienced enough. But getting these players into cup games, getting them off to a flying start is good for their beginning.
Well, let's find out what the boss had to say afterwards. The journalists were quite keen on transfers. You know, we're going to lose Ben Gibson, money being offered for others, that kind of thing. This is what he had to say in the press conference after Scunny.
We said it clearly, the owner said it himself, we don't have to, anyone that we want to keep, we can keep. You know, we don't have to sell anyone, and that's the way it's been. And we've only moved players out that we wanted to move out, and it will always be that way.
The good thing about Scunny is there were a couple of debutants that were playing. I know you don't know an awful lot about the likes of Lewis Wing. Shildon lad scored 24 goals in the Northern League. What's your thoughts on that, Sam? I mean, he came on and he looked a bit rough around the edges, as you would expect from a non-league player initially. But giving a lad a chance who's banged in the goals for fun as an attacking midfielder in the Northern League, is it good to see?
It really is good to see. It's good for the other players and clubs that are down there, for somebody to get through and play at that level. And it's good for the Borough to, they've got more in depth in the squad.
You didn't do too bad when we had a touch either, but there was also Marcus Tavernier, Connor Roberts. What are your thoughts on them, Tom?
I thought they both played reasonably well. Marcus Tavernier, I thought when the team was announced he would be starting as a winger. But then as the game was kind of progressing, it was, you know, your Traore on the sideline on one wing, but then Tavernier was cutting inside while Fabio was meant to run up the other wing and playing behind Fletcher. But I did think Tavernier had like really good movement, and he was getting in some dangerous positions for attacking wise. I think Connor Roberts played really well defensively as well. But the only thing is he didn't seem too confident in crossing the ball in a few times, which we probably would have liked to see more of. OK, cheers for that. Well, your views are all important. Mark was out and about with his camera. Here's what you made of it.
Comfortable. Didn't really stretch us. Never any doubt. Good performance though.
A good possession. No real test for us really.
Yeah, not too bad. Seemed to gel well. The young players coming into the squad's always nice. So
Not bad. No, yeah, I thought it was all right. It wasn't too bad. It's coming to young kids coming through, look quite good. So yeah, promising. Took the foot off the gas a bit in the second half, but everything looked all right. Yeah.
Sweet. It's good to see the Borough banging the goals in, though. I did have the Red Army pound on 4-0, so that would have been even better. Right, we're going to talk more footy after the break. That's what's coming up very shortly. We've got to look ahead as well. We're back at the Riverside in lead action. That's all to come after this. Yeah, welcome back to the RedArmy.TV studio. I've got with me a big Borough fan and a man who's doing fantastic work for a local charity, a wonderful cause on Teesside, is Sam Hussain from the South Cleveland Heart Fund. Sam, great work you guys are doing. Congratulations on raising that first £1 million. But the work hasn't stopped there, has it? You're continuing. What are you doing now?
It's what we call on the committee is the day job. We're getting back to buying equipment, raising funds for what the professionals at the heart department need.
So what is it? What sort of stuff do they need on an ongoing basis?
Things that need replacing, patients' rooms, television rooms. So all of this, we constantly need to keep the word out there and keep fundraising.
And what's going on? What can we see in the next few weeks, few months that you're going to be getting up to?
We've got people running the 10K in Middlesbrough, and obviously there's just giving pages out there for the South Cleveland Heart Fund. If people could latch onto one of them and put some donations our way, would be fantastic.
Tell us about chocolates. I'm intrigued. You told me about
We've
these.
just started selling chocolates, heart-shaped red chocolates, hence from the badge.
Yeah.
The heart-shaped in plastic jars, jugs, as well as cubes, plastic cubes.
So the idea is look out for them.
Look out for them. We through our Facebook page at South Cleveland Heart Fund, you can leave a message there and we can get an order for you.
Fantastic. Well, keep up the good work. Congratulations once again on the £1 million that you raised, and I know the work continues. And
can I just mention we're having a charity night on the 4th of October at the Dormans Club, a local band, Motown band called M-Town. It's going to be a fantastic night. Let's see people there and support a fantastic cause. The cardiology department at South Cleveland Heart Fund.
That's the 4th of October.
At Dormans Club.
Fantastic. We wish you well with it. Thanks for coming in, mate.
Thank you.
All the very best, and congratulations to Dr. Adrian too. He does great work.
How's that for movement, Paolo? You want movement? You have movement. There you go, 1-0. Hey, does it? You're good at that, mate.
It's skill, Pally. It's all about the skill.
That's not skill, it's luck. Skill is scoring 147 goals in 382 games.
Listen, I'm sick of you two always arguing. There's a reason why you come here today. Predictable.
Predictable is the new pool betting app and website. You get 20 games to predict a home win, a draw, or an away win. Entry fee money goes into a pot and the highest amount of correct predictions takes it. Winner takes all. It's as easy as that.
Drive me caravan, lads.
180! Very roomy.
I like your beard. So, you think you've got skill, luck, and judgment, do you? You're joking, aren't you? Why not play Predictable?
You can play the national game where the potential winning could be endless. Or better still, set up your own league at work or at the pub and take on your mates.
So, lads, who's going to win between Liverpool and Middlesbrough?
Borough. Must be Borough. 180! I mean the draw.
Liverpool.
Then there's the fundraising leagues where you decide which great cause gets a slice of the action. And as the goals go in, you can see what other players have predicted and keep a track of your position in the league.
Predictable. Skill and judgment. I told you it was easy.
Predictable. Winner takes all. Your chance to win big, grab bragging rights, and even help your own great cause in our weekly played competition.
I like your beard.
Now then, thought I'd lost you. Welcome back to Red Army. We're chatting all things Forest, Scunthorpe, looking ahead to the weekend, of course. A couple of tweets couple of the players, next players have been involved. Martin Braithwaite, perfect response from Saturday's disappointment. Well done, lads. Talking after Scunny, of course. Ashley Fletcher got a goal. Delighted to get my first Borough goal at the Riverside. Great performance from the team. Ben Gibson, fantastic performance from the lads. And great to see Marcus Tavernier and Lewis Baker making their debuts. Bernie Slaven's been on the shout. 3-0 to the Borough. It was a canter. Walk in the park. Let's hope Saturday's game against Preston is similar. Totally agree with you, mate. We've still got Tom and we've still got Sam in the studio. But before we start chewing the cud again, it's time to catch up with the latest news. Here's Sam.
Gary Monk has said that he can keep his biggest stars even with clubs bidding for Rudy Gestead and Ben Gibson, but as the end of the transfer window approaches, the Borough boss cannot wait for the transfer window to end. Rumours are circulating that several Premier League clubs are lining up offers for defender Ben Gibson, and earlier this week Middlesbrough rejected a £6 million bid from Leeds United for striker Rudy Gestead. The Shotton saga continues even with Birmingham making a transfer breakthrough on Monday. Harry Redknapp is still reluctant to sell Shotton to Borough, however he wants more defensive additions before allowing the centre-half to leave. If you have any Borough news you want to share with us, please get in touch. Email news@redarmy.tv or via social media @BoroughRedArmy.
Well, that was pretty emphatic, wasn't it? Cheers, Sam. The gaffer saying that we don't have to sell. The journos were edging towards what's going to happen when that big Premier League offer comes in for Ben Gibson. I'll start with you first, Sam. If a big £30 million, 30 plus offer comes in for Gibbo, should we take it?
I think so. It's inevitable. It's going to come. I think we've read in all the papers they sat there waiting. They know what they're doing. Fans maybe not like it, but I think a good move for the player would be West Brom with their manager, the style that they play. World Cup, yeah, it'll be good for him to be in the Premier League.
Have you got to take into account, Tom, the players' best interests as well as the club's best interests?
I suppose so, yeah. I mean, I would personally think he'd probably stay another season to try and get his club out of the Championship. I think for Gibson, it's a bit different to how it would be with any other player because it is his hometown club and his uncle owns it. So I personally think he'd stick around for a season, even if there was a big money offer from, say, the likes of Man City. And I think if we were still here after a year, I think that's when he'd probably start considering his future.
To World Cup year, I think he needs to be in the Premiership to get in. He's not a regular England player. He needs to break into if that's his ambition.
So you think playing in the Premier League, in the limelight, puts on some decent
in the big
performances,
fishbowl, rather
he could really throw himself into the frame for one of the England slots?
I think that eventually will make the move happen, and the Premiership clubs know that. The lad himself has probably thought that, and the club will know probably. My point of view is I think the club already know. It's there, going to happen eventually.
Well, interestingly, I mean, we've been talking for a couple of weeks about Ryan Shotton and will Shotton come in, and a lot of people were trying to put two and two together, maybe coming up with 5, but maybe that's in the thought process, because Gary Monk has said we need to still strengthen up front and we need to still strengthen at the back. Shotton was of interest. Do you think that is tying up to maybe Gibson leaving?
Well, I mean, possibly, but I mean, even so, we do need to strengthen at the back, even if he stayed. I think we can't go the entire season with just Gibson, Ayala and Fry. I think we do need at least 1 or 2 more options at centre-back, Fry if Gibson leaves.
Yeah, rumours or reports that we've had a, was it £4.5 million offer for Jota in Brentford turned down. Where do you think we need to strengthen, Sam?
Attack midfield.
Attacking midfield?
That position, that number 10, that everybody, mercurial player that everybody wants. We could do with a Juninho.
Another Juninho. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. I'd love to have Juninho back. Get the boots back. He did all right in
What we do really well, we defend, centre midfield is strong, but we need to get forward. Now we've changed emphasis from where we were before as a team. Now we are going to go forward. We need that little bit of the person who can put that little bit of magic and link to these exciting strikers that we've got.
Tell you what was interesting to note at the Scunny game was Stuart Downing came on and suddenly we had somebody who could start spraying balls to the left, to the right, all over the place. So maybe there is a call for a creative sort of player in midfield. But as you said at the beginning, We created bags of chances at Forest. We created bags of chances against Scunny. Do we necessarily need somebody who can create? For another time, we will chew the cud over that at some point. But let's catch up with your social media rants. Here's Joe.
Yep, lots of positivity following that 3-0 victory over Scunthorpe in the Carabao Cup. We'll start with Marcus Trevernier, who made his competitive debut the other night. He says, "Great team performance tonight, but proud moment for me and my family on me making my debut. Dimi Konstantopoulos, felt so good to be back at the Riverside. The boys were brilliant. Clean sheet as well. Thanks for your support." Paul Rooney says, "I know it's only Scunthorpe, but Dale Fry looks fantastic. So assured and very good on the ball." And finally, Matt Rooney says, "Not one Borough player did themselves any harm tonight. They were all top class. We've got such a good squad from top to bottom." Now, don't forget, if you have any news, you can get in touch with us. You can use the hashtag RedArmyTV, or you can tweet us at Borough Red Army. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that, Joe. He's been on twice today. He had his match report after Scunny, and now he's there in front of the camera doing the social media. If you'd like to get your details in, or get your thoughts in on social media, you can send them to us, of course, at Borough Red Army, and we'll get them from you. Thanks for that. Fellas, Preston North End's coming up. Another home game. Sam, we're not doing too badly at home, really, are we? Clean sheets galore, and we're scoring goals. Are you confident on the weekend?
At this stage, yeah, I think I would be confident against a team. Don't know a lot about them. The proper championship team, a team that we could do with a win against.
The interesting thing for me, Tom, is last year we were struggling at home under Ayala. We seemed to be able to play a lot easier away from home. Doesn't seem the case under Gary Monk.
No, I think the emphasis at the start of the season has been making the Riverside fortress again. And I mean, in the last season in the Championship, I mean, it was very much like that. I think we only lost a couple of times at home in that season. So I do think it is very important that we do pick up these points at home.
3 wins at home out of 3 games, no goals conceded. Is it becoming a bit of a fortress? Riverside, I almost said Ayrsham there. God, that was going back 20 odd years. Is it becoming a fortress Riverside, or am I really wanting to clutch at straws here to create something? Is it too early in the season?
I hope it's becoming Fortress Riverside, but I mean, I'd probably give it more than 2 league games and a cup game to decide on that one. I think Preston will be a bit of a challenge for us at the weekend. I know they've got a new manager in Alex Neil this season. I know it's been a change of style and a change of emphasis with that team, so we'll have to see how it goes. But I know we've got a pretty decent home record against Preston, so hopefully that continues. Looking back to Scunny and that team that started, who would you like to see that started against Scunthorpe in the team at the weekend? Probably Dale Fry. I've been impressed with him the last few games, where last time I saw him, he was playing for us in the Championship, and to be honest, because that was towards the end of the season and it was promotion season, it was a bit nervy putting in what was he, 17 at the time, 17-year-old centre-back when Ayala was injured. But I think the last 2 games he has played very well, and he would deserve his place on the team on Saturday. Well, he got it was only a sniff, but he got a sniff of Premier League action last season. Is this a lad who could become another Mowbray, Pallister?
It looks that way now, but I wouldn't want to put too much pressure on him. Just let it develop. Player that I would loving to watch at the minute, desperate to watch, is Lewis Baker. Start from the beginning and play a couple of full games. Let everything flow through him. He looks that type of player that can make things happen.
Yeah, my man of the match against Scunny without a shadow of a doubt.
Drift around and make it all happen, as well as do his job. Yeah,
well, we'd certainly like more of him. I'm going to come back for your predictions very shortly. Just a reminder, we've got a coach going to Bolton. Cracking day, Borough quiz on board, there's food and drink on board. We're going to stop off at a pub beforehand. You can get something to eat, something to drink there. Great social time. Give us a shout at Red Army if you want to be part of the trip. The 5,000 Borough fans heading to Bolton. Predictions, one word, Sam. What we're going to do against Preston?
2-0.
2-0, Borough. Tom?
I was going to say 2-0 as well.
You can, we don't have to agree.
Yeah, so I'll stick with 2-0.
All right then, who's going to get the goals?
Brit.
Assombalonga.
He's going to be the man of the season for me.
Is he?
I like his hunger, and he wants to cover every blade of grass, and never stops running.
And he hasn't got Forest fans on his back this time.
Yeah, a good experience for him. That he'll be wanting to put one over on them.
He's going to get a hat-trick before long. He's had so many chances. Is it going to be Saturday?
To be honest, I'm going to back Bamford to get his first goal of the season on Saturday. I think he's getting closer and closer. So
champion. So Bamford and Britt are going to be among the goals. We'll see how it pans out, and we'll certainly catch you next week. See you.